the mental health component is important for every person. That's what I'm glad we're starting to over the last really few decades, but it's definitely picking up speed as we go along and recognizing that, sometimes it feels like people think that the mental state in the brain is outside of the body.
Mm.
And we forget that it's in our body, right? Yes, the thoughts can be overbearing and the senses that God gave us, all of the, touch, taste, smell, scent, all those things can be, but it's really in your body. And so the fact that we would spend a lot of time about six pack or, you know, this and all these other things, right? And all of these other aesthetically pleasing things and cosmetic surgeries and and all these things that folks are doing as their right and prerogative to do for years. It was all the hyper emphasis, even with physical, getting to a gym. Gyms became popular and making sure you get your walk in and make sure you get your bike riding. All of these things have their place and they are important, but nobody talked about mental health. And so in the arts community, typically the artist is emoting through their work,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's their songwriter, their musician, their a visual artist, their graphic, whatever their mode and modality or medium of art expression, they're normally emoting that way and getting their thoughts and ideas. But it's really important that we hyper focus it with artistic expression, especially for young people,
Yeah.
right? Because we can do so much good with paying attention to the creativity in young people and using it as a conduit for them expressing themselves and finding out things about what's happening in the mind of the young person
Mm.
so that they need another level of mental health support, they can get that quality mental health support. And I'm an advocate for, and it's not just because, we're running the arts organization, but because I worked in the mental health field for a minute, specifically through foster care. And then we had a practice that I started and we were doing some cool work, providing therapy. I just noticed that play therapy and expressive therapy and these other forms of therapy that weren't traditional talk therapy
Mm.
were better for young people.
Yeah.
I can see it in real time. I don't have any metrics. I don't know the numbers. I'm sure it's out there. Somebody's collecting the data. I did. I'm just the eye test.
Yeah.
These kids are more excited to come express and receive, not just receive and not just express and receive when there is a joint collaboration
Yeah.
that's not just some therapist. And normally when I work with the community, the black community, not some non-black person,
Mhm.
right? Talking at me or to me about what my issues and my thoughts and feelings are.
Yeah.
It's a disconnect. But when there was play therapy for the younger kids and expressive therapy for the older young people in preteens and teens, progress by the leaps and bounds, right? They get it, the idea clicks. And so I'm a heavy, supporter and cheerleader for us making sure as a community across the board, urban, rural, suburban, that we wrap our arms around each other and adults as well. Of course, we know, Frederick Douglass is easy to build strong children and to repair broken men. Like
Yeah.
we know that one. And that thing is so painful to realize when you look at ourselves as we're getting older, but also look at people that came before us
Yeah.
and be like, wow, these folks are not going to change, right? These folks are going to be who they are at this point because trying to repair the brokenness at the later stages in life is just, it's not impossible, but it's virtually almost merely impossible. We want to make sure that we build strong children, and a well rounded child needs play, they need art, they need hugs and kisses, positive reinforcement, but also they need mental health support. They need that other thing that balances it all out.